What is everybody? Welcome to the Investing Bros. I am T Shroom, and again for Tim. Tim is not with us this morning because he is caring for his newborn baby. His newborn baby came in at 8 pounds and 11 ounces, I believe it was, but then that got corrected to 9 pounds. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy. It's almost like they've got the Bureau of Labor Statistics over there measuring the weight of the baby. It's just unsure really right now what the actual weight is, but we'll check the true weight on a little bit later in the show. But guys, we've got a ton of price movement to cover in Bitcoin and Ethereum. There, as you saw, Bitcoin and Ethereum gave back some of the gains from earlier this week, and now we're just going to kind of figure out exactly what the next levels are for those assets so that we can keep trading and keep hodling. But we also got some news from China, some updates from Binance on the commingling allegations. We're gonna look into some of the ledger headlines and a lot of other stuff as well. Maybe even a couple Ron DeSantis headlines as he's going live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitter with Elon Musk, moderated by David Sachs. That's going to be a really interesting one. But we've got a lot going on today in today's show. Before I get any further, Piper, if you'll go ahead and jump onto my screen, we will show you guys an image posted by TA Tim himself. This is the little baby. And Tim said Bitcoin might have dropped, but yesterday was one of the greatest days of my life. At 11:06 p.m., Brody Thomas Warren became the newest and most amazing bro. Thank you to everyone from the Investing Bros and Hit Network community that was praying for us. So that is awesome. And speaking of Piper, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself there and say hi to the good bros.
Hey, I just want to say good morning to everyone first. Secondly, I'm a little disappointed in Tim. I'm a little disappointed in Tim. I'm going to bro camp for this because this is breaking me a little bit here. Um, I have to say that I had a bet going with Crux that Tim's baby was going to come out with a full beard, and that baby does not have a full beard. So I'm disappointed in Tim. His genes has cost me money. So there you go.
That is unfortunate.
No, I'm just
Betting.
joking. No, congrats to Tim. It's awesome. Brody is awesome, and great job to Taylor. That baby is beautiful. So yeah, congrats to
Ab-
everyone.
absolutely. Well, I would be remiss if I did not have the quote of the day ready. So here we go, guys. Over on my screen, it says, "There will never be a day like the day your baby is born." Uh, source anonymous, source unknown for this one. But there you go, guys. It's always good to have another little one in your life. And now Tim won't have to sleep as much. He'll be able to wake up in the middle of the night and care for the little baby, which will be a lot of fun, as all the parents out there know and love that magical
Oh,
experience.
oh yeah. Tim is. You think Tim was busy before? He has no clue what's coming his way. So
Absolutely. All right, well, guys, definitely be continuing to pray and sending tweets Tim's way, and congratulations for this big day for him. But yeah, so
I
the
think
markets
people
don't
should hit.
stop.
I think people should hit the like button for that beautiful baby boy, though.
I agree.
I
I
agree.
tend to agree
Yep.
with that. Hit the like button, and let's go ahead and get into our macroeconomic analysis here. The macro news
No, we got to read names.
right after we read the names. So let's go ahead and do that now. Our first commenters were Mr. J said good morning, and Crypto Pew Pew Cruz also said good morning. So they were the first two, but I will note that Crypto Sec Guy was in the top 5. And so big ups to Crypto Sec Guy for waking up with us to make it happen. Let's see. I'm also seeing Crypto JMP, Joe Nichols. I'm seeing Brian D. I'm seeing Justin Eubanks, Rick Wilson, Gia S, Danny G, Cryptex in the chat, Elliot Locke, and Crypto Trades said, good morning, bros. Chess day to welcome the new swole brother. Love it. Mike Play, Elo Brown, indie rock crypto. I could go for some indie rock. It might be an indie rock kind of day as I'm doing some work later on. Might have to pop that on Spotify. A little indie rock crypto. Curtis Rorick, Army Piper, Let's Go, Gia S, and Justin Eubanks, OBC, Kyle Downey. Thank you guys so much for all the support here. Average Crypto Guy, Metal Family. I like that. GT Nuts. Who Cares? ADA Ace. Average Crypto Guy. Average Crypto Joe. Excuse me. Got 2 shout outs there. Alexandria G and Juicy Toes. And We Talk NFTs said, let's go. Love the show. Guys, demolish that like button. Let's show some love. I was watching We Talk NFTs just the other day. Showed me an interesting gaming token that I picked up, and I may share with you all very soon. Ninja Glock and Crypto Pew Pew Cruise, Crypto AI, Crimson Caravan, Crimson Caravan Company, Sean Galt, Max PP, and so many more, guys. So many more. If I didn't read your name, doesn't mean I love you. It just means I'm inept at reading all of the names. So that's okay. We're going to keep moving. Now that we have read the names, we are ready for the macro news. Thank you, Piper, for keeping me honest and keeping me on track there.
That's what I do, man. That's what I do. I try to keep you on track. You know, without Tim around here, this place would fall apart. So someone's got to pick up the slack.
That's right.
All right, let's get into some macroeconomic news today, guys. First, right off the bat, we are looking at our economics calendar. Today, we got coming in the 30-year fixed mortgage rate, guys. 30-year fixed mortgage rate came in this morning. It is now up to 6.69% for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage in America. So if you're looking at buying a house, don't. Not right now. You do not want to pay that on a rate. And it looks like it's because it keeps going up. And it looks like it's going to stay high for a while. We probably won't see these rates come down for at least another year plus from this range. To get it back to that 2.49% or 3% range, you're probably looking at like a good year and a half before you get your rate down there. So if you're looking to buy a house, I apologize. I had nothing to do with this, but man, are they putting it to you. Looking at the FOMC minutes here today, coming in at noon, my time, 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. Those FOMC minutes, again, if you don't know, they are the verbatim transcript of what was said at the last FOMC last month. So be watching for that, and we will see if anything comes out of that today. Might get some volatility from it. We'll see. Initial jobless claims coming in tomorrow. It's going to be the amount of unemployment claims for the week. Previously was at 242,000. Still consensus and forecast of 245. So we will see what that happens. And then Friday, our big one. It's going to be our PCE index coming in year over year and month over month with all the personal spending, personal income, durable goods, and core PCE. So let's watch for that on Friday. But that's what we have in the economic calendar. Let's jump over and look at Trueflation. Guys, Trueflation is now under 3%. It is insane that this thing just keeps on dropping almost 2% under what the federal government has reported. So, that is what we're seeing there. Let's jump into the CME and look, guys, told you this was almost at 50-50 last week. We are now coming up on the Fed rate percentage. It is now up to 37.3% chance that we will see a 25 basis point rate hike going on in June on the 14th. So a little bit less than a month away for that. And that's what we're seeing there. Let's go ahead and check July, see if that's changing at all. July is looking like a pause still. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. July is looking like a pause still, but we are starting to get an increase here again for a 25 basis point rate hike. So even if we sit here and we get no rate hike in June, July is starting to come up that we may see one in July. So something to keep an eye on here. When do we actually get our reversal? Not in September. Will it be November still? November's looking like the first one, but guys, it is coming up very closely that it's erasing November's chance of a decrease of 25 basis points. And now is looking like we might still be pausing in November if this continues to pump up. It's sitting at 35.3% versus 39%. So that's what we're seeing there. I want to show something new today, guys. Because this is in the headlines. So let's talk about it. This is going to be the coin glass liquidation heat map for the past 24 hours. And if you take a look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin saw $12.52 million. So $12.5 million worth of liquidations on longs. 13.9 million total in liquidations. Taking a look at Ethereum here, $12.6 million in liquidations, 11.9 million of those being long liquidations. Not a lot of people liquidated on shorts though. So if they were shorting, they're good. I was actually doing both T-Shroom. I was longing and shorting. So my long is still good. It's actually below. I'm in profit on my long still. And my short is now in profit. So I'm in profit both directions on my trade right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Looking at this 24-hour total here, guys, 56.3 million dollars in liquidations and longs across all cryptocurrencies in the past 24 hours. Biggest chunk of those coming from Binance. Binance had the most liquidations at 25.8 million of that. So 20.8 million being the longs. And it looks like, according to this, it was a rate of 80.6% of all longs on Binance got liquidated. So
Wow.
that tells me with a 3% move on Bitcoin, some people were doing some degen leverage trading. So taking a look here, you can see the ranking of these. It's going to be number one was Bitcoin, number two was Ethereum, number three, XRP. So you can see here that that's at 12.4 million, 12.5, I should say, for 24 hours of liquidations, 11.9 million. XRP experiencing 1.25 million in liquidations, and Litecoin, guys, Litecoin $3 million in liquidations here in the past 24 hours. A lot of people longing into that 90-day window that we're in before we see the Litecoin halving, and it looks like a lot of those people right off the bat lost their money. I will tell you, it is not always good to leverage trade going into these halving events because of the volatility. If you're going to be doing it, either make it low leverage or just go spot. Just go spot on that. You're playing a long game here, and leverage makes a short game, and sometimes a short game can get wrecked. So that's what we're seeing there on the liquidation side. I just wanted to bring that into focus so that people could see what type of stuff is going on right now in the trade market. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, back on my screen, you can see that the fear and greed index for Bitcoin is really unchanged yet again. So still things are remaining neutral. There will be an update for that in the next 10 hours. But Piper, I'll go ahead and throw it over to you to get into the crypto TA. Let's bring it.
let's go to that. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Had to shift that over there for a second there. All right, so taking a look at Bitcoin here, guys. I'm going to try to do TA Tim proud over here with some TA. Looking at the 1 hour charts right here on Bitcoin. And what I want to show you is the daily, because I want to show you guys, even though it looked like we had a whole lot of volatile movement, here is the price range that we've seen on Bitcoin going back to the 12th of May. So about 12 days, almost 2 weeks. Still just really ranging sideways. One thing I like to do, let's come over here. Let's grab this regression trend tool and let's just throw it in here, and you'll see nice little tight range that we're hitting here. And that range, by the way, if you're just interested, going to be running about a 3% range to the upside. If we run it to the downside, going to be the reason I'm showing you this is because if you got to consider that if it goes down by say 2%, to get back to that amount up, the price has to make a change double of that. So if price was $100 on something and it drops down to $50, that's a 50% loss. But for $50 to go to $100, it is a 100% move in price action. So you really can make a whole lot of money on your longing if you're doing it right. And you're not sitting there and holding the whole time. So keep an eye on that. That's what we're seeing though on the daily, just the sideways ranging here. Let's drop down into the 12-hour. Let's get rid of the regression trend tool. And we're going to walk down all the way to the local time frames on these because I want to show you guys some things that are going on. On the 12-hour here, we're getting a lot of rejection off of this dynamic reactor here, guys. By the way, this might be the last day you see me doing the TA with these indicators because today, the team members of Chart Prime are getting updated indicators, and I will be practicing and running on those. We have a massive update coming to our indicators. So, still going to have a lot of the stuff you guys know and love, but we got some new tools that are coming in, and they're going to be phenomenal. So, I can't wait. But yeah, a lot of rejection here running off of that dynamic reactor, still sitting above the 200-week moving average. So, just kind of squeezing in here. And I do believe this 200-week moving average might be a big reason for this sideways ranging action that we have going here because we got this running as that support, and I think a lot of people are just front running their load ups on this 200-week moving average. But yeah, looking there, let's go up down to the 4-hour, see how we're looking here. 4-hour rejection off of the upper trade band is where we have gotten all of our rejections from here. And now if we go over, I want to throw on the fib retracement, and we'll see that this is the 236. If you guys want to know what this 236 is coming from, I'm going to isolate this chart in, and we will show you here. This is going to be coming off of, let me clean up the chart here and get rid of some stuff. There we go. From the bottom, which was back here, the very bottom that we hit back here on November of last year, to the top point that we peaked at. That is where that fib lines, ranges are being drawn from. And you can see here that all of our rejection is coming off of that 236. We broke down underneath it after it was support right here. We broke down beneath it, hit the 200-week moving average. And now that is our line of resistance, is at 236 coming in at 27,370. So, can't really understand why we're not able to get above that. Well, that would be why that 236 is your main support, or your main resistance, I should say. Let's go ahead and throw on a quick tool here. I want to go grab a fixed range volume profile, and I'll show you guys what I'm seeing here. We're going to take this up from the last time that we broke this 200-week moving average here, and you can see that bottom bounce that we're getting is the value area low of the fixed range volume profile. So, guys, we've got great support here. This fixed range volume profile coming in right here along with the 200-week moving average. Fantastic support. Can we go below this? Absolutely, we can. It's Bitcoin. I would be watching over here on the Gaussian channel. That is probably going to be this 25 range coming in on the median here. The Gaussian channel is what I would watch for there. And I would also be watching over here, looking at the fib channels here, that if we do break that 25 range, as I brought up the other day, we're probably looking at that like 21,000 to that 20,000 range there. 20,700 to the $21,000 range coming in on that 786. So that is what we're seeing there on that. Let's go ahead and jump into some Ethereum now that we've broken down Bitcoin to show you guys where we are at on that. Ethereum on my trades. Let's see here. Still right below the 786. I want to bring this back into focus. Bam, there we go. Bring it up. We're working. All right. So we had on the oscillator here, we did have a hidden bearish divergence that printed and a downward trend on the oscillator right here. And that was literally going to be coming in. If I look at the 4-hour on this, you'll see that actually came in on this blue candle here, which is going to be a bullish candle. This would be green on those that are running red-green. But I don't like to use red-green because we have some red-green members in our community and viewers. So I try to be, accommodating on that. So, but yeah, we're looking right here on this candle was when we got that downtrend, and now we're running down, breaking the zero line, and it looks like we're probably going to come into the bottom of the cloud before we get a bounce on this oscillator. Starting to get a little curvature, but not seeing any squeezing here that would tell me we're about to pinch like we did here before we move into an upside on this movement here. Let's go ahead and break in. I want to show you guys this. If I turn on the market oracle, and I want to go in and show you the trend lines, because this is one of the trend lines that I was showing you guys the other day. Let's bring it in here. Get on it, doggone it. There it goes. So what had happened was, Yeah. Let me, I got to go in to change something. This needs to be on 50. I was messing around with it earlier and I did not put it back on 50. There we go. On my settings here on 50, you can see that we had, there it goes, this trend line that was running up here. We do have this trend line coming in right now at about 1800. So I do think that this is going to hold here pretty well. If it breaks that, I'd be watching for 1785 coming in right here. But again, as I said the other day, I do have an entry for 1700 to add to a long position because that is about as low as I think it could go. If we look here and see where the 1700 is, that is going to be down here at the golden pocket. So it is very possible, guys, that we could see if Bitcoin doesn't hold and we get a lot of bad FUD, that we could come all the way down to this golden pocket again because we are beneath that 786 on the fibs. So be watching for that. Looking at the 4 hour here on it. Yeah, guys, not looking strong, not looking very strong. We got some support in here, but I don't think it's enough support to hold it up. Let's go ahead and jump into some ADA, see what we're seeing here. ADA Cardano for my ADA fans out there. Give them a shout out. Let's go, ADA. We're sitting here looking right here at this lower value area low right here. That's that purple line running off of this fixed range volume profile, going all the way back to the 7th of May here. We are currently getting rejected right now off of the point of control. That's that dash red line running right there on the thing. That comes off of this fixed range volume profile. So I do suspect that we're probably going to come back down and test, if not break this value area low in a move to get down to this lower trade band. If I go ahead, let me get into my overlays here, turn off that fixed range volume profile. You'll see this is the trade range right here between the two gold bands on the predictive ranges from the Smart Money Concepts bundle. I do think that if that value area low does not hold right here coming in at about 36 cents, we're probably going to revisit this lower trade band here because it does kind of fit inside. Again, 70% of all price action occurs between these two gold bands on our predictive ranges. And I think this is where we're going to probably come down to. Maybe wicking just past these wicks here to grab up that liquidity, say thank you very much, have a nice day, and back up it goes after closing out people that have their long trades with their stop losses set down here. So that's what I'm seeing on ADA. Let me go ahead and take a look here. Something I want to start doing for you guys is I know T-Shroom does the market open, but I want to show you guys what's going on with the futures. Looking at futures for the traditional markets right now. I do pay for the service, so I can bring these in and show you guys these while we're doing the TA every day. But this is going to be the Dow Jones futures, looking at the 4 hour right now on 8 cap. We are breaking this trend line right now on the Dow Jones. We've been inside of these two trend lines here, creating this nice wedge pattern, and now we're going to be breaking down out of it. Not looking very bullish at all there, although I will say that the oscillator is looking like we could get a flip here soon. Maybe this is a fake out and it pulls back up in, but I would be watching this oscillator and watching this trend line. If we break this and get support back in, then we could look at upside, but not until then. Let's go ahead and drop on the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Ugly drop going on here on the 4 hours. Going back to Monday afternoon at market close, you can see about a 2% drop there coming off of that. But the one that's bothering me, and I've talked about this, let me come back to my screen for a second. Actually, I want to bring you on before I show this too, T-Shroom. Welcome back. One of the things that I've been watching is the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ has been creating annual highs. So the highest it's been in 12 months, week after week. Well, it looks like it's finally slowed down. And what I got to point out is that a lot of times the tech industry will get in lock and step with crypto because sometimes it does this correlation and sometimes it doesn't. Just like the S&P, sometimes it correlates and sometimes it doesn't. I was hoping to see that Bitcoin would catch on with the NASDAQ movement of all these tech jumps. And it doesn't look like we want it to do that right now, because if I go ahead and I pull this back over here in a second, you'll see that the NASDAQ has lost its momentum. So, T-Shroom, what do you think about what's going on with the whole tech side right now before I pull up this NASDAQ? There's been a lot of movement in the tech industry, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that it's a lot of this pullback may have to do with us getting closer to the debt ceiling timeline, like deadline. So I think that's kind of the banks are starting to go ahead and take cover. so to speak. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, that's kind of my perspective. I think that's also why we're seeing. Let's see if the Dixie, what the Dixie's doing. It's flat on the day, but I think that's also why kind of the Dixie had a big pop that it gave back today. But money's just going into USD out of equity. People are starting to seek shelter, and
Okay.
I would estimate that we'll probably see runs up in Bitcoin and gold here, in as we get closer and closer to the deadline, and but the dollar as well. So
Awesome, awesome. Well, let me take a look at the Nasdaq here, and then maybe we'll pull up a really quick look at gold before we pass it over to community. So, jumping
yep,
back in here, guys, on the Nasdaq. This is the Nas 100, and yeah, we had a double top up here, hitting off of the Delta line on the predictive ranges, and down it came. Nasdaq making a fall here from its high on Monday down to now, looking at about 2.6%, 2.5%, I should say. But we do have, I want to show you guys a little bit of hopium here. We do have this nice trend line coming in on the 4 hour, aligning on a parallel with the dynamic reactor. Anytime that we have multi-confluence diagonal support like this, tends to hold very strongly. So I'm not overly concerned about this drop. I do see some hopium here, but if anyone out there that trades futures, might be a good opportunity here, especially if we hit this lower support band coming in at 13,557. If we break this and retest it, I would look for a juicy short there for a whole lot of pips on your future short there. That's what we're looking at there. Let me pull up one last thing. I want to pull up the Dixie because he was talking about that losing all of its last 4 hour gains there and pulling back down. It about equal right now, not seeing too much, but I would be watching the Dixie on that, still underneath that trade channel that we had been in. That's now resistance above us, but still running now diagonally in a new channel right there. So, and then lastly, I want to pull up the gold, and then we can pass it over, grab some community stuff before T Shroom jumps in and does some market open stuff. So, where is my gold? Let's pull it up here. XAU. There we go. Owanda. That's the one. You're the one. Gold. Yeah, looking at gold here, creating a W pattern right now, guys. Which could be bullish if we can break this. Right now, it looks like we're getting rejected on it right now. But we do have a nice double bottom going here on gold. And if I pull this over to the 12 hour, we'll see. Yeah, we're below this entire trade range, but we are getting a lot of support on the dynamic reactor right now. So maybe be watching if you're looking to long some gold about 1966 to 1963 for the entry on that, setting your stop loss just on the other side of these wicks over here, somewhere in the range of about 1948. That's what I would do. Not financial advice, but that's how I would trade that for sure. Yeah, that's what we got for gold, man. Let's pass it back over to you, T-Shroom.
excellent. Yeah. Well, for community, there's no better place to be than the community links in the description of this very live stream that you are viewing. And that's going to bring us to a couple of different ones. The biggest one I want to highlight today is the free Discord. If you guys are not in it, you should be. We've got an NFT chat, we've got crypto news chat, we've got memes, and then we've got all kinds of different tiers that you can be a part of to have whatever kind of access that you'd like to the bros. We also have a Patreon and then all of our Twitters as well here that we would really, really appreciate if you guys would go follow and take a little moment to do that as well. And we've got our partner links as well. 45% off still, guys. Discount for your first month or quarter purchase of Chart Prime. You just saw Piper running through those indicators there. He loves them. I love them. Tim loves them. And you are going to love them best of all. You can get them on your TradingView account. And for this time, you got 45% off for that very, very great product over there from Chart Prime. Yeah, so we got to take down our link for Bitcoin 2023 conference because that baby is in the books. So that is we got to get that out of there. That's funny. But yeah, I think that's probably going to wrap up our community. The only thing I would say is we've got TA talks today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the over on the Chart Prime Discord. So you guys can go over there and check that out. We've also got a link right under our free Investing Bros Discord link.
And how do you
Um,
get into TA talks, T-Shroom? There's two
that's a good
ways.
question.
Premium, being a subscriber to Chart Prime Indicators, or being an investing bro in the Patreon. So if you're an investing bro in Patreon, you get access to TA talk over on our Chart Prime Discord. It's a little cross server love going on there. So
Absolutely. And then also, if you guys don't know, if you're in one of the Patreon tiers for the Investing Bros, you also get Bro Time, which we had a fun, fantastic Bro Time yesterday.
let's
And
go.
those,
Love
yeah,
bro
those
time.
Bro Times are at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And yesterday, my mom was on there. And so, just like how Tim's having a baby, I was the baby of my
you,
mom.
you still are a
So
baby, T-Shroom.
it was a pretty bad comparison, but yes, that was the reality that you all could be stepping into there. Well, I think that's probably going to be a good little wrap for our community. Let's go ahead and get into our market open, so you can stay on my screen. I've got the Dixie pulled up here, but Piper just did a pretty thorough analysis of that. Let's start with energy here, guys, as we always do. Natural gas coming in higher this morning. Futures contracts trading 2.8% higher. Oil coming in just a little bit higher, 0.8%. We'll be looking for oil to tick higher and higher, as we got that news yesterday from the finance minister of Saudi Arabia saying, look out, oil prices are going to go higher. That's what he said. So looking here at the indexes are opening lower across the board. And they are the Nasdaq is down 0.6, Dow Jones down 0.3. So money running out of risk faster than it's running out of security makes a lot of sense. All right, moving down into crypto, it's red across the screen, guys. Definitely bleeding pretty hard here. Optimism chain down 4.2%. And let's see, Cake down 6%, just getting slaughtered. Cake is, and then FET is down 6%. So that's kind of leading the market lower. There is Cake and FET, and AGIX down another 4.4% there. So seeing these names getting kind of sold off here in May. As we always say, in sell in May and go away. It seems to have rung true here, but we're not out of May just yet. So we'll see how it wraps up. Not a
It's
single
it's
green name.
it's DCA in May, T-Shroom. DCA
That's
in
right.
May.
DCA in May. Dogecoin even down 2.7%. Not a single green name there for crypto. Your metals also both red here, with gold down 0.01 and silver down 0.1. So gold just barely moving here. Not much movement there for the metals. Your mega cap tech stocks are a little glimmer of hope, with Apple and Amazon both moving green. Not very much. Amazon, the only one really decisively green here, up 0.6%. But Tesla down almost 2% and Google down 1% there. So pretty much gloom and doom across the watch list here, guys. I do see
Uh,
a little bit of what's
I
up.
do I do have to say there is one thing that is very green today, just so you're
Hmm.
tracking. It's very green.
Hmm.
I'm going to pop over to my screen here because we've got some people talking about it in the chat, but I want to show you
Go for it.
guys. Bitcoin.
Nice.
Bitcoin is up 52.8% in the past 24 hours here. So for all the bin holders
Wow.
out there, the bin nation, for the bin nation out there, there you go. Bitcoin up a whole lot in the past 24 hours. So back to you, man. I just wanted to show that.
No, definitely. It's always good to see the silver lining. I believe Bitcoin is a meme coin, so be careful what you're doing over there with that. But as long as you're looking to have some fun and treat it like a casino, you're in the right place for Bitcoin. All right, that's going to pretty much wrap up our market open. I would expect that the rest of these names are pretty much red across the board. Yes, Coinbase down 2%. The banks are red and oil is green. So oil would have been the name to buy at market close yesterday if you were looking to make some gains in the stock market. But who could have known that? All right, so let's keep moving,
Or
guys. Let's
or you just trade on a account you can short and you could have shorted everything. So
Yes, absolutely, Piper.
I,
That's
I
that's
need to
definitely
teach
very true.
you going up or going down, traders make money. Come on, T-Shroom. Let's go.
That's right. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, moving on into our stories here, guys. We had a big one kind of drop yesterday, a bombshell from Binance, but they're coming back. Binance denies commingling billions in customer funds. Here's what they've said. We've been very public about where the company had regulatory shortcomings in the past. There's no reason for a respected news outlet like Reuters to continue making stuff up. So, Patrick Hillman, Binance's chief communications officer, going ahead and calling Reuters a respected news outlet, but they are making stuff up here with this commingling story. So, who's right, who's wrong? We will have to wait and see what kind of investigations will take place. Not really sure. Binance is already under investigation from the CFTC, so we shall see. Maybe there has been some new information unearthed from that investigation. Moving back into the U.S., Attorney General recuses herself from criminal investigations into former FTX executive. So let's read into some of these details. Oregon Department of Justice took over the investigation into Nashad Sanai $500,000 donation to the Democratic Party of Oregon last October. Nashad admitted under oath in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York that he agreed to make political donations in his own name that were funded with money from SBF's companies FTX and Alameda. Elections manager Alma Wallen said in a press release. So there you go, getting some of the details from this headline about an attorney general in Oregon who's maybe a little more tangled up with FTX than he'd want to be. Moving on into our next story here. Moving into China, specifically Hong Kong, new crypto rules suggest Hong Kong is testing ground for China, says some experts. Well, let's see what they have to say. Tokens to be traded on these platforms provided in Hong Kong will have to pass a minimum criteria that will ensure that retail investors should be less prone to market manipulation. And then large tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum are expected to pass that criteria, given the listing criteria, lower cap tokens will be in more doubt. Okay. These guidelines are due to come into effect on June 1st, 2023, right when I go to phase one of my next military training, which is going to be grueling. I will hope that we will be seeing a lot of upside as Chinese folks are pouring their wealth into the crypto assets. Let's take a look here at one more Chinese headline. This is something that we'll want to have on your radar. Chinese Ethereum Conflux draws spotlight as Hong Kong welcomes retail traders. I didn't call it the Chinese Ethereum, but somebody is. Let's read about some of the details here about Conflux, um, which is being compared to Ethereum. Tokens of Conflux Network, ticker CFX, an Asian-focused blockchain that some have dubbed the Chinese Ethereum, saw a spike in prices earlier amid increased attention from traders after Hong Kong decided to let retail investors trade crypto, which some say could fuel an influx of capital from Chinese investors. So that's kind of reiterating what we've said. But what I will say is, in order to buy CFX, it's not, you kind of have to go through non traditional routes. You got to have this Fluent wallet, it looks like. Let me know in chat if you have found a way to buy it more traditionally through like a MetaMask or through, Qcoin or something like that. Let me know in the chat. But as far as I know, you got to get this wallet, which it doesn't seem infinitely difficult to do. But I've got to admit, I'm a little interested in this CFX. I want to do a little more research before I FOMO into it, but it looks like it might be one to see some upside here over the next couple months. Well, Ledger, uh, continuing to stay in the news here with their scandal. It's also the subject of our poll, so perhaps we'll get into our poll here in just a second. But Ledger Key Recovery Service paused amid backlash and will open source the code. So there's there's a quote here. It says, "This experience has been very humbling. We miscommunicated on the launch of this product. It was not our intention to take people by surprise. So because of that, we understand the community's direction and apologize for the miscommunication." And then this would be a good time to get into our poll. So Piper, are you able to see the results of that poll? I can probably pull that up actually. Let's see. So 81 people voted, and the question was, can Ledger undo the PR damage it has done? 41% said yes, and 59% said no. So out of 81 votes, it's pretty decisively no there. Not unanimous by any means, but pretty decisively no. So Piper, I'll go ahead and throw it over to you on this Ledger story. What is going to happen here? Is Ledger going to slowly kind of dissolve because of this PR story, or do you think, like many other platforms in the past, Robinhood comes to mind, that they'll kind of shake it off over the long term, and they'll still be a main staple in the crypto space?
I think they'll shake it off over the long term, but because that's the name that a lot of people know, so they're going to stay with it, or they're going to, it's what they started with and they just spent money on it. They're not going to want to do all the work to switch over. But, for people like, me and some people in our community, people like you and Tim, like we know, we know
Mm-hmm.
that there's better products, or at least products as good as Ledger out there that haven't rolled back on the ethics of what the entire ideology is behind crypto. And so I would be more prone to say that some people, there are going to be a good chunk of the community that are going to start looking for an alternative to Ledger, moving their stuff over there, grabbing that new hardware wallet, maybe something like, I don't know, like the one you're testing right now. That might be the one, right? But they're like BitBoy last night just did a whole thing on 5 cold storage wallets that are as good, if not better, than Ledger. So um, it just, you got to watch it. I mean, right now, yeah, they're rolling back on it, but the point is that they had to roll back on an update. Like, okay, great, technological advancement here. Yeah, you got made it really simple for new people that may lose their keys and don't understand key custody and seed phrase custody. But for people that have a little bit of experience, it's nothing for me to go in and just start moving, all of my entire portfolio over to another cold storage wallet. So I think it's 50-50. I think some people the damage is done, and I think for newer people they might go, well, okay, well they rolled back on it, and all the bad news is now gone. But the point is that somebody had to make bad news go away. Bad form, in my opinion, on Ledger, and I'm definitely looking for a new source to store all of my crypto on. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much how I fall on it. But headed back over to my screen, we've got a couple more stories here to get into. A couple of which we'll get into the details. A couple of which we'll just read the headlines. So hang with us here. Goldman Sachs and Microsoft are quietly using AI to lay the groundwork for the next Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto price bull run. So this is from Forbes.com. So a lot of mainstream eyes reading this today, but the new blockchain, which will begin testing in July, the new blockchain being Canton Network, which is being produced by Deloitte, S&P Global, Moody's, BNP Paribas, uh, and Paxos and CBOE. They are releasing this new blockchain, which will begin testing in July. And it's designed to fix problems generally associated with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto, such as lack of privacy, control over data, cross chain interoperability, and scaling. So that's what Goldman and Microsoft are teaming up to do. Also, BlackRock chief executive Larry Fink, meanwhile, told shareholders the largest asset manager plans to develop permissioned blockchains and tokenization of stocks and bonds. This year, adding very interesting developments are happening in the digital asset space. So you're seeing TradFi here, kind of gear up, lick their chops, get excited about moving more and more into the crypto space. Also, Fidelity being a big name that was listed in this article. So just continuing to get excited as the big players are taking it seriously and taking steps in the right direction. Now, there are also a lot of implications about these actors coming in and creating walled gardens and basically creating a lack of freedom that crypto has enjoyed for a long time. And we of course have our own opinions about that, but generally this is something that we kind of view as bullish, at least for the prices of Bitcoin and Ethereum going into this next bull run. Moving right along, though, crypto ties emerge in Russia's latest U.S. sanctions. Russia banned 500 more Americans, including individuals from think tanks and U.S. government agencies, and even late night comedians that are tied tenuously or directly with crypto. So that is something to watch as Russia is going ahead and flexing their sanction muscle more and more as the months go by. And then this is a hopeful story here. Hackers left empty handed as crypto hacks dropped 70% in Q1 of 2023. So, this is just generally good, generally a good thing. It seems like the security back end of a lot of blockchains are starting to become more and more robust to where this type of a statistic is able to be read here on the Investing Bros, of which you should hopefully have liked this stream by now. And if you don't like it yet, well, we've got something to look forward to tonight at 6 p.m. Ron DeSantis will launch his presidential bid with Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, there he is. Ron DeSantis, he's my governor and he's my boss in the Florida National Guard. But Musk and DeSantis will host an event on Twitter Spaces, the site's platform for audio chats, on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be moderated by the All In Podcast's David Sachs and tweet extraordinaire David Sachs. So definitely something to look forward to there. As a Floridian, I've got my my Florida shirt on here, Hawaiian shirt, probably more accurately, but I'm definitely excited for this. So, Piper, we can head to BroCam, and I've got a couple of questions for you here. I know that probably the most important actual story here is definitely the China opening up on June 1st. Do you think, and I know it's hard to gauge because there's not really a precedent for this, but do you think this is going to send capital into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and could the price just totally buck whatever patterns are developing on the charts and just shoot skyward as Chinese are like, I'm getting the heck out of the yuan, I'm getting the heck out of this corrupt state, and I'm trying to get into Bitcoin? Or is there something that we're missing?
No, I don't think you're missing anything. Matter of fact, so we talked about this on TA Talks, I want to say 3 weeks ago, about China. About China.
China.
China. So there's some big things, and it's funny because I'm just now starting to see other YouTubers, content creators talk about it, and I'm like, where have you guys been? Like, we were talking about this weeks ago. There's like trillions of dollars sitting in savings accounts for the Chinese because the a big portion of the GDP in China is in real estate, and there was that big real estate fallout. So a lot of people just held money. Plus, they had massive, extreme lockdowns, so they were sitting on a ton of money. June 1st, Hong Kong is going to be allowed to buy into retail. This is the latest update. Retail, China, people in Hong Kong will be able to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum retail. The rest of China institutionally will be able to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum through this exchange. So, that I think it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. But I do think that, as Bev Redden said there, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. It could be a buy the rumor, sell the news. But I do believe as that money starts to come in, that is new money. That's new money coming into the marketplace, that I think could create a big catalyst for Bitcoin and Ethereum to move. However, be careful with it, because we do know that a lot of people in China might be also have the mindset of, what if I buy this and next week China bans the purchase of Bitcoin and Ethereum again for the 900th time? So, because they're famous for it. So, but you got a lot of people again sitting there with money in savings in China, able to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum for the first time in years, a couple of years since it got banned the last time. That really could create a catalyst for it to take off. So I'm definitely watching it. If we do get a good dip on June 1st going into that, because a lot of people sell off when it starts to move, that's fine. I'm not going to ape in on June 1st, but I will definitely be looking for good support ranges to jump in and grab some of that if it does go down, because I do believe June 1st will start a catalyst of movement. Plus, just for the simple fact that we're inside the 1 year mark of the halving, and typically that is an upward to the right move. So I guess I should go this way since I'm reversed here on my camera, but yeah, upwards and to the right. So let's go with it. Yeah, Tyler Main said it great here. The Chinese real estate market is going bust, and they need another place to put their bling. So yeah, absolutely, you're right, Tyler. 100% believe that. So it's gonna do good. In the moment, by the way, said Ledger will be fine. Yeah, that's what we said pretty much. That was the summary of what we were saying about that in the moment, was that Ledger's overall, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be 50-50, but at the end of the day, you've got people that are long time familiar with cold storage that are going to walk away, but you've also got new people that are going to just stay with it because it's the easiest thing. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how it goes down in China if a lot of money will start pouring into crypto. We just don't know. But the other thing to consider is how much propaganda the Chinese have been running on anti-crypto. You can't really know what the hearts and minds and are postured towards crypto at this point. Even what that really is. So
right.
that could be a factor to kind of counter that. It's like, well, they're in Hong Kong, so Hong Kong has more access or less limitations on their media sources. So they're able to kind of stay maybe in more of a Western state of mind or a more diverse state of mind, you could say, not just controlled by the Chinese hegemony. Right. But, uh, you know, so those are the people who are going to have access to these exchanges, not the Chinese mainlanders, from what I understand, but the Hong Kongers. They will be able to have the more free mind, so to speak, to be able to say, hey, I do want to go ahead and put my wealth into crypto. So I think we will
You see
see
that dump? We're dumping hard right now. Look right here.
oh, for real.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah. So just as I'm speaking, I must not be convincing enough. And
They're not. People are selling right now.
excellent. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we might be able to get our opportunity to get back in at 25K here in maybe in the next couple hours. We'll see.
I'm going to create a new
We'll
tag
see.
phrase for that. It's going to be called Shroom and Doom.
I like it. I
Yeah,
like it.
I like it.
That's funny. But yeah, absolutely. So I think my thoughts on it overall is we will see the price go up on June 1st, and there will be a run up to it. But I think June 1st won't be a. I don't think it'll be a sell the news. I think it'll be a buy the news because that's when the starting line will open, and Hong Kongers can actually exchange their yuan or whatever currency they're holding for Bitcoin and for Ethereum.
Well,
And I would
the buy the news piece of that would be people outside of China thinking that it's going to jump up, so they try to get in and catch the move.
Right, right. I understand, but I think that there's just so much pent up volume there. There's so much pent up liquidity that it's gonna on June 1st. Actually, I think you'll see more upside. Whereas leading up to June 1st, there may be stronger forces that are either keeping Bitcoin lower or surging it higher. But on June 1st, I think specifically the biggest force of the bulls or the bears is going to be a bullish move into those names. So that's my prediction at least. I'm sure that we'll probably see a sell off on June 2nd either way, as folks kind of second guess what they're doing.
What day is
Um,
June
but
1st on? June
June
1st is going to
first,
be a Thursday.
yep,
Did you say
yep.
June 1st? Really? Really? I said what
so
day, not date. God, lieutenants, I swear. Um,
so I'm
we got a super
I
chat there
am
too.
I'm considering watching the or listening to the well, I guess yeah, listening to the Twitter Spaces and also hosting a Discord live. So, if you guys wanted to join that, let me know in Discord and I'll make that happen. But we do have a super chat here from Elliot Locke donating $5 said, I normally don't care about price DCAing, but it's anticipating if it's anticipated by the rumor sell the news, would it be wise to wait for it before DCA this week? I mean, generally the answer to that would be yes, but you don't really know exactly how it's going to go. Um, as we've said, it's Piper and I basically have kind of disagreed on this. So you could kind of say we don't really know how it's going to go. But overall, with DCAing, it's usually best to just stick to that rigorous schedule just at the same time. Otherwise you're kind of getting into more trading territory, which is fine. You do it however you want, do whatever works. Definitely try to get the best entries that you can. But if you have a set schedule, like on Robinhood, you can auto buy things. But whatever asset it is, you may want to just keep that unaltered, just for discipline
For
purposes. But
sure. For sure.
yeah, because you got to think about it. It's a drop in the bucket, guys. If you even if it's 5% that you miss out on in one single DCA, in a 10-year span, that difference is not going to be significant. So, try try the best you can. Obviously, we are big proponents of watching the charts and trying to time your purchases as well as you can. But that's a little different when you start bringing DCAing into the conversation. So hopefully that was a good comprehensive answer for you there, Elliot Locke.
There we go.
So we're seeing more and more folks. Crypto Sec guy this morning texted me. Elliot Locke, I think, said something earlier about CNFTs and the crypto, the Cardano chain, Cardano tokens. Let me know in the chat right now if you guys would be interested in having like a section, probably not every day, but maybe like on Thursdays or on Mondays or something like that, where we take like 20 minutes and just kind of cover what's going on in the world of Cardano, and maybe we have somebody like Crypto Sec guy on to kind of cover that, or an influencer in the space who covers that to kind of give us the download. I know that there's a lot of opportunity there. We obviously believe in Cardano. When it comes to CNFTs, I personally don't hold any. I would like to, but I think that we could potentially carve out some time, because I know that we do have a sizable group who would be interested in the CNFT coverage and the crypto, the goodness gracious, and the Cardano token coverage. I would be much more interested in the Cardano tokens myself, just because that's kind of my lane. No hate to the CNFT community at all. I really admire the CNFT community. I just don't have the bandwidth to get into yet another rabbit hole that CNFTs are. So
Hey,
absolutely interested.
real
Go
fast as
ahead.
this drop has happened. Go ahead and finish
Mhm.
that, but I want to go to something real
No,
fast.
go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, in the last hour, guys, I switched this over to 1 hour here. Bitcoin has had $11.4 million in liquidations in the past 1 hour.
Wow.
This drop that we're going through right now has liquidated an additional $11.3 million worth of Bitcoin. So a lot of
Yeah.
people saw this drop, jumped in on some longs, and now have gotten liquidated again.
Yeah. Yep. So what was it? Let me see if I can find this tweet fast enough. Because Sin City Crypto posted yesterday, is this a breakout or a fake out? And I posted some charts that kind of showed how it was going to be a fake out, and it looks like that's exactly what's happened. So, I kind of predicted it. It looks like here's the chart. If you want to go to my screen, Piper. Um, I was saying BTC has found support on a downtrending line of support, but the oscillator is starting to curve down. Bulls were unable to push price above the top of the golden trade band. Overall, not quite a fake out, but more bearish at this point. So, since then, obviously, we've come down, and I think we may have even broken that lower band, that lower uptrending line of support.
Look at
On
you with your
so
shroom, man. I love it.
yeah, actually, I can jump down to the 4-hour C. Yeah, we've broken that lower uptrending line of support. So and going lower, wicking
I'm gonna
lower.
have to start calling you TA shroom.
TA Shrimp, I like it. Well, I'm just waiting to get a 25K entry. I was buying it. I was buying it down at 16 and 18, but I don't think I picked up any at 25, which is kind of where I'd like to get some more as well. Hopefully, that's not giving anybody a heart attack hearing, thinking that we're going to go back to 25. But I mean, I think we've said it enough on the show that folks should be ready for that.
I'd love to go back and buy more Ethereum at $1,075 like I picked up. I picked up 7 Ethereum at that price, and it was beautiful. So
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, unless there's some hard evidence that this Binance commingling situation is real.
yeah,
That might bring us back quite a bit lower. But I don't really see anything happening because we're almost out of May, right? And May has been kind of this meme force for bearishness. We're almost out of it, So and then there's a lot of reason to be excited going into June for purchasing assets as we've covered today and earlier this week. So yeah.
yep.
With that, guys, Piper, did you have anything else that you wanted to say? Any more comments or anything?
No, just another shout out again to Tim and Taylor for their Brody, their
Oh,
beautiful
heck yeah.
baby boy Brody. So and I appreciate everyone joining us today. Staying and hanging with just T-Shroom and I. I know we don't have the beautiful beards of the TA Timster, but the Brofessor of TA, but we appreciate you guys joining us. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like, hit that notification, hit that subscribe, and share this video. Let's grow this community. Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Thank you so much, bros, for joining us in today's episode. Yes, we are celebrating the birth of Tim's baby boy, Brody. Has come into the world, and Taylor is doing really great as well. Taylor, of course, Tim's wife. But you are watching and listening to the most generous investment community online. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.